overseas in God amazing places and God awful places as well. So I'm bringing you two of the absolute best, and they are Sylvia Crawley. Crawley, I don't know. I'm saying Crawley so the basketball people will know. I know you are married, so you can tell them about that if you want to. But Sylvia Crawley, y'all may remember, played at the University of North Carolina, national champion, played in the WNBA, played in the ABL. Sil, what's going on?
What's up, sis? This is pretty cool.
What's going on? So, where are you in the world tonight as you're watching the game?
I am in Durham, North Carolina, basketball heaven over here.
Okay.
And I'm still trying to recover from Vegas.
That was crazy. And I know somebody else who was turning up in Vegas is Takara Williams, who played at A&M, and I still invited her to the show, even though I played at Texas. I still invited Takara Williams to the show because she's a straight up baller, played in the San Antonio Silver Stars organization. Takara, what's going on, Aggie?
Listen, nothing much, man. I'm recovering from this weekend. My Aggies lost, but it's all good. It's all good. It's all good. I'm here.
Awesome. Y'all, we've been watching the WNBA. I just got a notification, like this has been a historic year from a standpoint of attendance and digital play and all this kind of stuff. I'll start with you, Sylvia. If you could describe the WNBA this year in one word, what would that word be and why?
One word? I need two, Fran.
2 words. Here you go.
I would say, well, okay, I can go back to one word.
Okay.
Watched. Like I think more people watch it this year. I was in tears when I was at the All-Star game this year.
Yeah.
And I saw the merchandise being bought. And I saw men walking around with this t-shirt on, right? And they weren't girl dads. They didn't have their daughters with them. They just were there as a fan, you know? Yeah. I saw Jawad Williams from North Carolina, and I was like, hey, what are you doing here? You got your daughters here? He was like, no, I just came to check out the game. Wow. And I literally watched him as he went through the ticket line, went through the door. I was staring like, oh my gosh, this is the day we prayed for. And I mean, I think the idea to change the licensing and change the gear was brilliant because the gear is so dope. Like everybody wants it. Everybody, and it used to be years ago. If you had a shirt like this on at the airport, people knew like you played in the league because you could only get that if you play in the WNBA. I used to wear WNBA socks to recruit, and the kids would be whispering like, "She playing in the WNBA," because you can't buy socks like that.
Yeah.
Right? But now everybody's got those socks. Everybody's got this shirt. Everybody's got the hoodie, you know? And it's just beautiful to watch the league make money, to actually sell tickets. There was a day, and I played for San Antonio as well before Takara, but they used to give me a stack of tickets and say, hey, when you go eat your pregame meal at the mall, pass these tickets out. And we used to be like, hey, you want to come watch us play? And they'd be like, when is it? We're like, tonight at 7. They're like, no. I mean, they wouldn't even take the free tickets.
Yeah.
We were begging people to come watch us play. And now the stadiums are packed. The fans are engaged. People know the players' names.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all over Twitter. It's amazing. It is amazing. This is the day we pray for, and that day is here, Fran.
Long time coming. So watch. That's Sylvia's word. What's your word, Takara?
Man, can I get 2? I'm going to get 2 because Sil took 1. I'm going to take 2.
You know what? I'm not bringing y'all on any game show competition with me, but y'all always going to ask for other rules. Okay, get your 2 words.
Paid attention.
Okay.
They paid attention. You know what? There was a product out there. It's a great product. And now I believe and I feel like everybody paid attention. Now they're coming. They see. They're being engaged. They're involved. And it's just excellent to see this game evolve the way it has. Seeing younger girls wanting to be in the WNBA, watching the WNBA. It means so much more now because like Sylvia said, like they will be like whispering, oh, she played in the league and you couldn't give the tickets away. Now they're like, how can I get to the game? Yeah. So I love the narrative that's changed, not to I'm not trying to make it there, to how can I be a part of? So they paid attention.
So paint a picture because what's great about us doing these shows is that we've got people who have never seen us play. They've never seen my my years play. They've never seen your years play. They've only seen what they see now. So paint a picture for what the league was like. And it could be positive or negative, because for me, it's all a part of our, of our growth, of what the league was like when you played in it, Crawley.
Wow. So I started at Portland Fire. Okay. And in 2002, the league opened it up. The NBA said, okay, all NBA franchises who want to own their WNBA franchises, you now have the options to buy them. And the Portland Trailblazers said, no, we don't want Portland Fire. They're in our way. Because we share practice facility, we shared a gym with them, we shared a trainer, we shared the weight room with them. And even though our seasons is opposite of theirs, when the playoffs happen, they just want us out. They're focused on winning the playoffs, and when their season starts, so there was a little overlap for about 2 weeks, depending on how far your team went into the playoffs and things like that. So our team folded. And I got sent in a dispersal draft, picked up by Indiana Fever, traded the very next morning. I got there at 9:00 at night. I woke up in the morning and my light was flashing on my phone. I was like, do I have a package at the front desk? They're like, there's a letter. Traded San Antonio Silver Stars for Natalie Williams. And that's kind of how the league was when I got into it. There were NBA teams that just felt like we don't want to own these franchises. So that's when you had teams like a Connecticut go to a casino, right? That's where you had teams like a Vegas that can survive in Vegas, basically a casino too, right? So Chicago was no longer with the Bulls. They kind of went to their own little facility. The Liberty wasn't playing at Madison Square Garden anymore. They bounced around from Rutgers to whoever would take them, So it's evolved. And there's certain franchises that kept their WNBA teams, and it was an honor to play for those teams. It was Indiana Fever, it was San Antonio, because Pops always made us feel a part of the Spurs organization. I love when my checks came, payday, and it said paid by the Spurs. I was like, I'm employed by the Spurs,
and the check's gonna clear, and we know the check is gonna clear.
But there were certain teams where the NBA franchises did buy the WNBA franchises, and they made us feel like we were part of the family. And the teams that didn't, honestly, those teams needed to go because we felt unwelcome. We felt like they really didn't want us there. We were in the way. We had to tiptoe around them, and so I'm happy that we are in cities where we're wanted. We're in venues where we're wanted. I went to Dallas, and they're kind of playing out of college, but it's a perfect spot for them. Like the size of the arena is a perfect size for their fans, right? So it looks packed, it looks intimate, it's loud, the fans are like right in the referee's ears, working in their favor. So I think we're in a good spot right now.
Good stuff. Takara, what do you, when you paint the picture, what was it like when you played? What stands out for you?
Well, you know what? I was still blessed to be in the Las Vegas Aces lineage. And you know what? Like Sylvia said, San Antonio was different. They were welcoming. That's from the top to even the players. So when we did have that overlap, they didn't make you feel as if you didn't belong there. They definitely welcomed you, and Spurs Sports Entertainment, loving those checks came through there. But it was a fight, definitely my rookie season coming in, you were a part of a team, but you got to earn your spot. And it was totally different from the college ranks because, I was the top dog on the team, and then coming into the league, like you got to work because now it turns into you're trying to take someone's job and who wants to lose their job? So, coming in, I had the likes of not Cynthia Cooper, but Cheryl Swoops, Tina Thompson, and you're looking like, man, these are the people that you grew up watching, hearing about, and now like you're on the court with them. And they didn't take it easy on you. It was like a dogfight. Like they didn't care. They're trying to go get their bag as well.
You gotta eat. Yeah.
You gotta eat. So it changes your mentality, but I'm truly blessed, man. I'm happy that I was with this organization, and I still get to get some drip from them, man. Don't this look new?
It does look new. Good organization. I mean, I'm wearing a Houston Comets cap you know, for those of y'all, I know we got multi-generationals watching this, people who have no idea who the women were who played 20, 30 years ago. And those of you who just only know what the WNBA, but this is the Houston Comets, the 4-time Houston Comets. I played on the Houston Comets' first WNBA championship team. And it was really cool to be there because I always felt like that franchise was wanted. It's funny to say that now after then it folded, but Houston was one of the original franchises. New York, LA, and Houston were like the franchises you thought were always going to be in the WNBA. And then the Houston Comets literally lost their ownership, meaning that they decided they didn't want them anymore. And so it was really interesting to watch that happen. And then for there to be no more effort to bring the Houston Comets back. People are still to this day texting me, when are the Houston Comets coming back? It's hard for us to believe that we would let that happen. So we're talking about the WNBA now, y'all. You're watching the game now, and we're seeing, when I got the notification that there was record attendance, record engagement online, record merch sales, all this, and we were looking in the W app and we're seeing what's happening with the Connecticut and the Minnesota game. Can you believe the WNBA is where it is? What about it surprises you the most? Either of you, jump in.
I love the viewership. I love the involvement. Even those people that are coming to criticize. I love the gatekeepers. I love the gatekeepers. And when I say gatekeepers, I mean the fans, because they are stepping down on these people. Like, they don't want to hear the riff-raff, you coming in here criticizing. And they're like, no, these girls can hoop, they can play. Yeah. And they're standing on that. And I love that part of it.
Yeah. What about you, Sil?
The part that I really didn't foresee happening is in terms of the visibility, you can now catch games on Facebook. You can catch them on Twitter Spaces. You can catch it. I mean, like, I used to be in Clubhouse all the time, you know, like talking, we're having watch parties. So you're actually on Clubhouse watching the games on your TV, but talking audio with other people. And so that's the part that like really blew my mind when I started seeing Clubhouse rooms that just said WNBA watch party or WNBA draft or Twitter Spaces and stuff like that. And so that's kind of what, to me, when everything opened up, because now, because people are on social media so much that they use that for news. They don't watch the news. They watch social media. Exactly. So now you can catch the games, you can catch the highlights, you can catch everything right on your computer, right on your phone. And to me, that's what opened it up and made it more visible, right? Yeah. I think there's some tragic things that happened with Brittany Griner that brought a lot of attention to the WNBA. So that became like the only name people knew. And then they wanted to watch to see how she transitioned back into the league. There were some things that we did as a league in terms of players taking a stand, taking a knee, fighting for justice, you know, that brought a lot of attention to the league. So I feel like the climate and the time is right for this to be supported, to be celebrated. It almost feels like overseas, you know, like I played in 16 different countries, but I also played in the WNBA, right? Yeah. But my real job used to be overseas. That was my real job. I made $25,000 a month in Korea. So if I got injured in the WNBA, I was like, oh, I'm sitting out tonight. It was like, I ain't trying to mess up my money for my real job overseas, you know? But people came in droves overseas. They had a big bass drum that they wanted to hit and cheer. You know what I mean? Like, people were there, men, women. They didn't care. They love women's basketball. And I feel like the U.S. has finally caught up with that.
We caught up, y'all. We caught up. It's halftime of the Connecticut-Minnesota game, 46-32. Let's give the folks what they want to know, and that's your opinion about why the game is in the shape it's in right now. 46-32. Why is Connecticut drumming the Minnesota Lynx right now?
The Lynx aren't playing defense and stopping the three. I mean, in the first quarter, Connecticut attempted 11 three-pointers, and they were knocking them down, offensive rebounding. So penetrating and kick has been working for them. They turned it on a little bit, Minnesota did, to end that first quarter, but got to stop the three.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say one name, Alyssa Thomas.
She bad.
She does it all. Oh, my goodness. They said that she is responsible for 41% of their production. That's insane. She's either scoring or she's responsible for making an assist for somebody to score, or she's
Yeah.
driving and kicking, you know. I mean, double machine. And
Triple.
in
Double. Yes.
in my
Mr. got a triple double.
triple
Yes.
doubles, right? In my opinion, I coached for Indiana Fever, Tamika
Mhm.
Catchings, in her final years of her career.
Yep.
In my opinion, Alyssa Thomas reminds me so much of Tamika Catchings. I played against Catchings. I'm a center. Catchings is a 3 guard, right?
Yeah.
But she guarded me. She would guard anybody, you know. I played with her overseas, against her overseas, right? And Alyssa Thomas reminds me so much of Catchings, where she's all over the stat sheet.
She's all over. Yeah.
She's
All over
it. You're in like you can't rest for 1 second. The minute you rest, boom, she's gonna cut to the basket. She plays very well off the ball.
Yeah.
She plays hard. She's gonna outwork you, you know. Super IQ, and you can't scout her because she don't have moves. She just reads and reacts. You know what I mean? She's gonna read and react. You try to body her up, that's the worst thing you can ever do, because she's gonna spin off of you. Like, she is amazing. I really enjoy watching her.
AT is mad. I don't care what anybody tells me. AT is mad tonight that she didn't get MVP. I don't care what anybody tells me. And we talked about this in the pregame show. Should Alyssa Thomas should she have even been in the conversation for most valuable player? What are your thoughts?
I think so. Along with A'ja Wilson, I think you definitely, I mean, if you look at her triple doubles and what she's doing right now, you gotta at least consider her, you know. Now, I mean, I don't know. Is it vote? Does the fans vote for it?
Media.
Okay. You know, A'ja, she's just popular. Everybody loves her. So if it goes by fan votes or whatever, like, she's gonna get that. But Alyssa, I mean, if you're looking at the stats, you have to consider her. You have to.
Takara.
Yeah. She's not out of the conversation. I mean, if you can average a triple double, it's a no-brainer. Like, it is a no-brainer, because she's bringing it day in, day out, giving it to you. And like Sylvia said, it's read and react. So what you gonna do?
Well, and here's the thing: she's injured. She's got 2 injuries this season.
2 torn labrums. I don't know that people know that. Like, 2 torn labrums, switched shooting hands. I mean, it's crazy.
And you're not going to know that because she's not complaining. She's not making excuses on social media. I don't even see her on social media. She's just about her business, you know. So she just gets it done. She's one of those. She's like an old soul, you know. Like, back in the day, we just sucked it up. You know what I mean? You can have a concussion and you fake and be like, "No, I'm okay," because you wanted to play. She's cut from that cloth, you know.
She totally is. Breanna Stewart did get the AP MVP, you know. So for those of you who are just joining the show and just joining the world of women's basketball WNBA news, Breanna Stewart did win MVP, beat out A'ja Wilson, beat out Alyssa Thomas. And my thoughts, I said this in our pregame shows, like, for me, A'ja Wilson getting MVP was a foregone conclusion the first half of the season, because she was balling out. She was killing. Breanna Stewart started playing incredibly at the right time. Like, she was having a solid season, but I mean, 40-piece, 30-piece. And I think that's what people remember. And it just took her team to the next level. And for me, deserving, but I also believe that the fact that she played well at the right time has a lot to do with her becoming the MVP for this season. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, she really played well in the cup games.
True.
I don't even know when they snuck this little cup stuff in on me. You know, why would you wear out the top 2 teams at the end of the season? You want the playoff games to go well, you know.
Yeah.
And a lot of those players have been all-stars, so they hadn't caught a break yet, you know. But Stewie, I like Stewie. You know, I can't take anything from her. She, like Thomas, you can't scout Stewie either. She don't have moves. She's just gonna read and react, or raise the ball over you like Dirk and shoot it over you, you know. So though, I mean, all 3 of those are really good players. They all have different kind of games though, so it's hard to compare them. You know, all 3 of them are very different. So you know, congratulations to Stewie. I did see that go over Twitter that she got MVP. So congratulations to her. I'm not mad. It's good for our sport. Whoever gets it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sometimes it's good to have a new person. You know, if A'ja would have got it again, and it's kind of like it's predictable, you know. But Stewie, perfect timing too, because she's starting her rivalry league that's coming up. So that's great publicity and momentum for her, and hopefully good momentum for the playoffs. So I'm looking for that Vegas, New York matchup again. I feel like what we saw in the Cup could actually be like a finals game type situation.
All right, Takara.
Hey, listen, Stewie's a baller. That's very true. But I always have to consider the fact and not taking anything away from her or Alyssa Thomas. But we know Asia gets it done. And guess what? She's without CP3, right? She's without Raquana Williams, that incident that happened in Vegas. Mm-hmm. But yet, still putting up the numbers, putting the team on her shoulders and getting the job done. We can't overlook that. So with the lack of the two teammates, that was major. You lose that, and now you got to step up. So I got to give a different perspective on that. No, nothing against Stewie, nothing against AT, but Asia's kind of playing without two aces in the hole right now, and they're getting it done.
I see what you did. I see what you did there. Okay, two aces in the hole. All right, let's get back to this game. What will Minnesota have to do to sneak this one out against Connecticut? What do they need to do differently?
They're going to have to try to get AT out the game so that they can play the game. Because if she's in there, they got a problem.
Like, seriously, who is my thing is, if I'm on that coaching staff, I'm like, one thing Alyssa Thomas is not going to do tonight against us, if I'm coaching against her, is take the ball from coast to coast 30 times in the game. She's not going to do that. She may get 30 rebounds, but we are not letting her go coast to coast. You got to take something away from Alyssa Thomas. What are you taking away from her, Sil?
I think you got to pack in the lane. She drives a lot from the top of the key, and she's driving like almost down the middle. So there's no weak side help. It's just that gray area. You know what I mean? So she's getting by her man, but who's supposed to help? And who's helping to help her? You know what I mean? Yep. But I think you pack in. Everybody's got to have one foot in the lane. And then if she kicks out, then you just, you know what I mean? You just got to leave it to chance, you know what I mean? And make them take higher percentage shots, because she's taking layups. She's in the paint. That's a high percentage shot. I would give them that three. Make them knock some of those down. Close out, and put your hand up, but don't let her drive to the hole and power it up for a layup and an and one possibly.
I'm with that. I am not letting Alyssa Thomas shoot a 6-foot shot, 6 foot and inside. No, everything she gets on me is going to be 10, 12. Like, I'm literally being disrespectful. I'm going to back up and just say, take a 15-footer. You're not coming down here. And it's like, nobody's doing that. What else is happening to Carl? What else is Connecticut doing that's making them so good this season in general?
Listen, and the problem is, even though she's getting in the lane, and I hear you guys saying everybody got to have a foot in the lane. In the first half, they went 9 for 18. Their points off of turnovers were 14. So now you got to come back something different. I don't know if you send two at her, get the ball out of her hands, because she's getting down there spinning. They can't stop it. Whether she make it or miss, she's going to get it back. Yeah. Everybody's confident to shoot shots. So take somebody's confidence away. She can only get a double-double. She can't get a triple-double.
Yeah.
That's what you got to do.
And also, let's not fail to mention Bonner. Like, Bonner is a beast, Small. Here's what I love about Bonner. She's the smallest one out on the court, and that used to be me. I used to play against some Summer Herb and Chastity Melvin, you know what I mean? These were bruisers, in the league, running the map, But Bonner is wiry. She's going to get it done. She's going to shoot the three. She's going to get that rebound. Like, she's just a firecracker. I love her game. I think when you put her with Alyssa Thomas, it's just almost unfair to watch this game tonight, Yeah.
And it's interesting because I think Connecticut, like, they've been one of the most consistent teams in our league this year. And yet for me, they're a different looking kind of team. Like, they're not a prototypical professional basketball team. They're just not. So, like, name 5 people on Connecticut's team. I mean, you can't, but them when you see them, and you're going, wait a minute. I know I can see her right now. She's got the braids. Because they're not about the superstar stuff, right? They're just about.
I can name one name. I got one name for you.
Who?
Stephanie White.
Coach. All right, coach.
Who is letting them play to their strengths.
Yep.
You know
Coach
what I mean?
of the year. Coach of the year. That's a good segue. Coach of the year. Is that a good pick for coach of the year?
I like it.
I
Okay.
think so. I coached with Stephanie White for Indiana Fever and Lynn Dunn's last year. We were her assistants.
Okay.
And Stephanie, I'm talking on the road trips and the airport, she's always drawing up last second plays, time score situations. Like she is a true student of the game. So I'm not surprised at all.
Not surprised.
I'm not surprised how well respected she is, even though like she's a young coach, you know.
Yeah.
They respect her because she knows her X's and O's. Like
I think Stephanie might be better at the pro level than the college level.
Agreed. Yeah. Agreed.
You like because that decision,
her sets are so complex that college is too much. They got homework and stuff like that, you know. But she's the queen of like floppy and all that kind of stuff. Like that's her lane, definitely. So I love her being at Connecticut. I think she's found her spot. I think she has the kind of players where she's letting them play to their strengths, you know. And so it's a good fit with their coach.
Takara, what do you think? Coach of the year. Good selection.
I like the selection. And it's all about KYP, right? Know your personnel. And I think she does know her personnel. She knows her players. She knows how to get them in the right positions, in their strong positions, the best positions for them to score. They run a lot of backdoor, which opens up the three because people are getting beat backdoor. You got to help off. That allows them to kick and knock down these threes. I mean, it's crazy, but like you said, she's always thinking ahead, preparing. And it seems like her preparation is on point and they're peaking and they're getting it done.
All right, y'all. So we're going to go back to the game. I got one last question for you. If we're talking in 5 years, halftime of WNBA finals, WNBA playoffs in 5 years, what has gotten better in the WNBA? What would you like to see? What lets you know that we are moving in the right direction? What's changed? What's gotten better?
I like the fan engagement. I like the players with the fans. You get to see them. You get to talk to them. And it's almost like you get to touch them. Before we had to be like doing PR community work, but now they can reach out and touch you via Twitter, all through our social media platforms. So I really like that. I love it.
Okay. Sylvia?
I love that too. I mentioned merchandise earlier in the show, but I also like the marketing of the league. Like I saw a commercial today where you had players walking down to the locker room with their outfits on, right? So now they're models, and this was a Google commercial. So they took a snapshot of the girl's shirt, and then a little girl was walking down the hallway at her school with the same shirt on. You know, it's like now you can just think about, Fran, when we were kids, if you could wear what Michael Jordan was wearing, or you could wear what Cheryl Miller, or I could wear what you were wearing, Fran. You know, like it's like. That blows my mind, you know. So the marketing, the commercials, you get to see more people in the commercials. It used to be you only saw like Lisa Leslie, Rebecca Lobo, Cheryl Swoop,
Rebecca Lobo. Yeah,
that's, you know what I mean, and maybe Cynthia Cooper. You know, if it was like
MVPs. Yep,
right. But now you can see Jonquil Jones in the State Farm commercial. You know what I mean? You know, people getting their own. You got people getting their own shows and stuff online. They're not waiting for the major networks to put their show on TV. No, they're going to start their own podcast, and they're getting paid off of podcasts. And now you got Asia on a Ruffles bag of chips. You know what I mean? So like that part of it just blows my mind. But I mean, the possibilities are endless. It's going up from here. We used to hope and pray that the league would even be in existence right now, and to see it not just surviving, but it's thriving.
Doing good.
I'm super proud, super happy for these girls. Not jealous at all. Like I'm like, yes, get that money, get on those ruffled potato chips. Like, do it, girl. You know, we're just like their big sisters, and we're rooting them on. They have no idea how much we cheer for them and rooting for them and want them to do well. You know?
Yeah, part of the reason I'm doing what I'm doing is some of the other things I'm going to be doing that y'all are going to be participating in. You just don't know yet. Is to kind of bridge the gap between what was and what is, right? Like they need to know these things, so they need to know who made this possible, just like we knew who made things possible. And I would love to see more collaboration. If we're talking in 5 years, like you're seeing old school former W players in commercials with the WNBA. You're seeing us doing other business deals together. You're seeing that this cross-pollination of old school and new school. I think that's where we need to be going, either internally with the WNBA or with a lot of media projects and those kinds of things. When I see that, I'm like, we get it, because we're a great mouthpiece for the WNBA. Like, I'm doing this because I love the W. I'm doing it because I know what basketball has meant in my life, and even still a big part of my life. So I think when we start to realize that when people leave the W, that shouldn't be the last that you hear of them. That shouldn't be the end of that story. And, and the people who are watching the W now have no idea who the people were 10 years ago. I was telling earlier in the pregame show, when I hear people talk about the best guards in the W, and I don't hear Cappie Pondexter, and I don't hear Tweety Nolan's name mentioned, I'm like, oh, they just don't know. I'm not going to even be mad at y'all. Y'all just don't know. And we need to fix that. That's my whole point. We need to fix the fact that they don't know. And so we've got to, that's the work that we have to do. And that's the work that I'm excited about doing. So guys, predictions, the last question, predictions. Who's going to win it all?
The Aces.
Y'all are betting on the Aces. Y'all betting on black. Okay. All right.
All day long. All day long.
I need another one of them pendants next year when we go back.
I need a ring to match that pendant.
There we go.
Thank y'all for tuning in. For Sylvia Crawley, Takara Williams, we got another halftime show coming at the halftime of the Aces Chicago Sky Games. So keep it locked right here. We're bringing you more content and more media attention than you guys have probably ever seen from formers, from alums. And just keep it locked, and we'll see you guys next time. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Enjoy the game.
Yes,
we will.
Bye, y'all.